So in previous session we saw how we read and write the data from LabView to database. So here you see, so we are doing both reading and writing. So if I execute this program again, so here you can see whatever the data I have given here, whatever the query I have written here, that is executed in the database. From here I'm writing the data, and from this function, select function, I'm reading the data from the database. So here you can see the Ramesh and Mysore and the phone number. It is added here. So if I go to my MySQL server, if I execute here, so here you can see the same data is coming here. Okay. So now suppose in LabView we have some IOs, input and outputs. I need to read the status of that IOs. Suppose when this switch is off, I need to share the data as this boolean switch is off in this table, or in the database. Okay, so how we can do, we'll see now. So first I will delete this old table. So in my local database I have already created one table here. So here you can see status of IOs, status of input output, in the same database only. Okay, I'm using LabVIEW database only. In that I have created one more table. So here you can see in table I have given one serial number and switch 1 status, indicator 1 status, and the sensor reading, date and time. For so these all we need to write it from LabVIEW. Okay, so first I will connect this. So I will give it a name as SW1. This is indicator 1. Okay, so what we have next, and the sensor reading. For sensor reading, suppose we have any sensor connected to LabVIEW, I need to see the data of that sensor in the database. So for example, I will take one random number generator. So it will give some random values. Okay, suppose this is a sensor now. Okay, so it will give the value 0 to 1. So I will multiply with 10. Okay, so I will create one constant here. I will multiply with 10. So here I am getting the value. Okay, here I am getting the sensor value. Okay, so what I need to do here, whenever I am pressing this SW1, I need to share the data as the SW1 is on. Whenever the indicator is getting on, whenever I need to share the data as indicator is on, and the whatever the value I am getting in this sensor, the same data I need to share to the this database or this table. Okay, so we'll see how we can do. So here we saw only for constant. If I want to change the data, I need to edit manually here. So again I need to execute. So in this condition we can't do like that. Okay, so we'll see. First we need one string function called as concatenate. I'll label this. So in this we need to insert the data of this all data, and we need to give it to this execute function. Okay, so I will delete this. So this is also I will delete, and the source will be same because here I am using the same database. So my ODBC open database connection is same here. So here you can see lab source. If I go here, so in lab source, the source name is lab source and the databases I have selected as labview. Okay, in the same database I am using different table. Okay, so source is lab source. Next is I need to write the query here, right? Before that, so these all are in, so this is in different data type and this is in floating data type, but the execute function, this function only accept the string data type, right? So we need to convert first and then we need to give here. So SW1. So when this is turning on, I need to share the data as the SW1 is on. Okay. First, I will create one string constant here. I'll select this string constant. In this, I need to write the query to insert the data in the table. Correct? So insert into, so what is the table name? So table name is status of IO. Okay. Insert into status of IO. Correct? Status of IO. So next is bracket open. So what are the column names? So column names is SW1 status, indicator 1 status, sensor reading, date, time. These are the column names, correct? So I will write column name here, SW1 status, comma, indicator 1 status, comma, sensor value, sorry, sensor reading. Okay, sensor reading, date, time. Drag this first. Sensor reading, comma, next is date, and next is time. So here I have given the column names, right? So next we need to give the values. So I will close this, and next I need to give the values. Values is bracket open, single quote. So in SW1 column I need to share the status of this SW1 switch. So what we can do, so I will take one selector switch. So when this switch is on, I'll take one string. So here you can see, here I am getting the true condition, here I am getting the false condition. When the switch is in true condition, whatever the data I will have here, it will send it to this side. Okay, so I will connect this. When the switch is on, I need to share the data as on. Okay, same, we'll take one more. Okay, we'll take one more string. When switch is off, I need to share the data as off. So here I am getting the SW1 status. When I am pressing this, it will share the data as on. When I am turning off, it will share the data as off. So this I need to give it to here, right? So directly we can't give because this is a constant. So this switch condition will be changing in every execution or based on the user operation, correct? So what we can do, we can take concatenate string. First I will connect this query. So next I will connect the status of this. So what will happen after this value and after this single quote, whatever the data I am getting here, it will execute here. Okay, next what I need to give, again I need to take one constant. Here I need to give the single quote and comma and again single quote. So next, in next point I need to give the indicator status. So how we can do, so I will create one local variable of this, create one local variable of indicator. I will change it to read. So again I will take one selector switch. Okay, so we'll connect this. When the indicator is on, I need to share the data as on. When the indicator is off, I need to share the data as off. I will take the same connection, I'll give it to here. When it is off, same connection I will give it to here. So next I'm getting the data of status of indicator here, and I will connect to concatenating string. Okay, so next is sensor reading. So here I am getting the sensor reading in floating. So first I need to convert the floating to string. So we'll go to string. So here you can see format into string. One function is here. We'll connect this to here. Okay. Next I will take one more point. So here I will close this indicator status. Okay. We'll create one constant. Here single quote, again comma, again I am opening for next sensor reading. Okay, again single quote. In next concatenate, next point I need to give the this string, means this is the sensor value I am getting. Okay, so next is date and time. We'll take one more point. So here I will create a constant, again single quote, comma, single quote. Next I need to give the date. So date, I'll go to string, or I will go to timing. Here we can get, okay, here we have. So here I will get the date string, and this point I will get the time string. So first I need to give the date. We'll connect here, we'll give date. Okay, next again I will take one more point. Here I'll create one constant, single quote, comma, again single quote. Next I need to give the date, sorry, time. So we'll give the time. So this is the system time. It will provide the system time. Whatever the time I have here, it will give the same time here. Okay, so next I need to close the query. Create one constant. So here single quote and bracket close. So here I will get the full query. Okay, first I will clear this. So whatever the data I am getting here, so here in this side we'll see the full query. We'll create an indicator here that we'll see what I am getting here. Okay, so this is the concatenating whatever the value I have given here, that it will provide, it will give here, it will show here. Okay, if I run this, okay, before running this we need to connect this. Okay, so this is the insert into database query, so we'll give it to here, and this side I need to read the data, right? We'll create one constant here. We'll give, write the query as select star means all from the table name is status of IO, status of IO. So here we can see the result indicator. So if I run this, okay, so it is showing error now. We'll go first. Here I will connect one error out. Okay, Okay, here is the error. Okay, status of, but it is writing the data, it is not reading. Okay, select from status of IO. Okay, if it is running, we delete this. So here you can see concatenate query, insert into status of IO, means my table name, and the SW1, the column, this is second column, third, date and time, this is columns, and these are the values. These values I am getting from the this concatenate string. Okay, from here I am getting the values. Okay, so this value I need to read and write in the database. So we'll go to SQL toolkit. So we'll take this open function, and next is execute, and next is select and close. Connection out to connection in, connection out to connection in, and next this. So here I need to give the source name, right? So source name is lab source, correct? In ODBC we have created, so this is our source name. Click on OK, and next is error wire, connect to here and this to here, and I will create one error indicator. So next is, so here I need to execute the query. So I am getting the query from this concatenate string, so I will connect to here. So next is I need to read the data, right? So we will write, create a constant here, select all from, the table name is status of IO, correct? So here we can see the result. Create one indicator. If I run this, so this is my table. So here you can see whatever the data I am getting from the inputs, whatever the data I am writing from here, I am getting in this table. Okay, so I will create one scroll bar that we can see all data. So it is sending the data very fastly here, right? So what I will do, first I will clean up this. So here we'll take one loop, while loop, create one control to this, and here I will give one delay. Okay, create a constant, will give one delay here. So what it will do, every 100 millisecond it will share the data to the database. So I will run this. If I on this, so indicator is on, the switch is on. So here you can see status is on, right? So if I stop this, so I'll put it to here. I'll delete this. Okay. So here you can see the serial number. So instead of this, instead of array, I can take one table also. So in that we can see easily, right? So we'll take one table, and so here I'll give one row headers. Okay, first column is serial number, and next is, what is next column? Next column is SW1 status. So next is indicator status, and next column is sensor value. Next is date. Next is time. No, sorry, date. So next is date, and next column is time. So these are my columns, these are my headers. Okay, so I have given row header here, so we need to give column headers. So I will copy this, I need to disable row header. So here I need to give serial number, next is SW1 status, so next is indicator status, next is okay. So this is my table. So I will go to block diagram page. So this is my table, so we'll change it to indicator, then whatever the data I am getting this table will connect to here. Okay, so I will delete this array. So if I run this, so here you can see whatever the data I am getting from the here inputs and outputs, I can see here, right? So I will stop this. So this is how we can read and write the data from the field devices. Suppose I have connected some switches and indicators in field, so I need to see the data in database. So like this we can do. If I execute here in MySQL also, so I will get the data. So this is my serial number, this is the switch status, this is indicator status. So this is sensor value, date and time. At what time, at what time. So what will be the status? So we can see here. So at this time at 2:10 p.m. the indicator is off, the switch is off, and the value is like this. Like this we can store the history of the input and outputs. Okay, so whatever the query, whatever the data we are getting from the lab view, till now we have stored in the local, here, local database, local servers, right? So we can't share this server to any other persons. Suppose if any second person want to see the data and this history of this inputs and outputs, so he can't see from his SQL softwares, because the whatever the database I'm creating here, it is only saving in this in my system only, right? So for that I need to create one server in online, so that I can share the server to the second person, so he can access to he can able to access the database from anywhere in the world. So how we can do? So we'll see now. So we'll close this. So we'll go to browser, and I'm using AWS. Okay, I'm using AWS, what we called. So this is my AWS service. So I have already created my account in AWS. It will provide you 1 year free uh, server creation and all. Okay, so you can create free servers here. So the same servers you can access in your MySQL, and you can share the user ID and password to other persons. So I have already created my account here. I'm going to log in. So here you can see my AWS dashboard is here. So here many services are there. So I need to select RDS. Otherwise we can search here RDS. RDS means Rational Database Service. We'll click on this. So this is my RDS dashboard. Okay, so I need to go in databases. So here you can see I have not created any database identity instance. So database instance means it is a server. Okay, I need to click on create database. So here, so creation method will be standard, and here I need to select the engine. So I am using the MySQL software, that's why I need to select the MySQL engine here. So suppose you are using MS SQL, Microsoft SQL Server, or PostgreSQL, Oracle, so you can select any others. So I'm using MySQL, I will select this. So next is, so here I need to select engine version, means my MySQL software version. Okay, I can go in help, and I can select on about. So here you can see version 8.8.0.33. So I can select that one. So I have already selected. So next is, so templates, I will select on free tier. So it will, for example, I'm going for this. So if you want to use for production and development and testing, you can use this. But these two templates are paid and this is free. So you can use this. So here I need to give the database instance identifier. So nothing but it is, you need to give the name for identification. I'll give name as labview. Okay. So next is, here you need to give the username. You can give any username here. I will keep it as admin only. So next I need to give the password. Okay. So here I will give admin. So next I need to give the password here. So I will create one password. I need to confirm again. Okay. Next is, here I need to select the DB instance class. So it will provide two classes, db.t2 micro and db.t3 micro. Let it be on db.t3 micro. Okay. So next, storage type. So let it be general purpose SSD. So allocated storage is 20 GB. That is enough. So storage auto scaling, leave it as it is. Next is, so go down. So here you need to select public access. So if you want to use this database in MySQL, so you need to select this public access. Okay. If you give a no means you can't able to access from MySQL. So here VPC security group, I will let it as default. Next, I will click on create database. Okay. So it will take some time. So I will cut this video. After creating database, we'll continue. So here you can see my database is successfully created. Okay. If I click on this connection details, so here you can see, so my username and my password, and this is my server address. So this I need to copy in the MySQL. So I will go to MySQL workbench, click on this plus mark. So here I can give any name, connection name. I will give it as online database. Okay. So here I need to give the host name. So my host name is this endpoint. Okay. I'll copy this. Endpoint means this is my host name and I will paste here. And next, port is same and username is admin, and my password I need to store here. Okay. So password is, so okay. So I have given the password. Next I need to click on this test connection. So your connection, suppose your connection is getting timeout. So what you can do is, go to your browser So I'll close this. Before that, so this details, no, connection details, it will show only one time. You need to note down this. Okay, whatever the database you have created, you need to note down the password, admin, username, and the endpoint. Endpoint you can see here. If you go to this database, so here you can see endpoint, but the password you won't get anywhere. Okay, so here now we are getting timed out, right? So what we can do, we'll go here and I will click on this VPC security groups. So I will click on inbound rules. So next, edit inbound rules. We click on add rule. So here I'll select all traffic. Here we'll give anyway. Okay, I'll click on save rules. So we'll see again now whether it will work or not. We'll click on test connection. So here you can see successfully made the MySQL connection. Okay, we'll click on OK. So if you are getting timed out from the MySQL connection, so you can do like this. Okay, we'll close this. Okay, so we have already created a server. Okay, I'll open this now. So already one database is created from system only. So next I will create one new database. Create database, database name as online DB. I'll execute this. I refresh. So my online database is created here. Okay, so first I need to select this, right? Use online DB. Okay, in this database I will create one table. Same table I will create. Okay, same table, whatever the data I am getting here, the same table I will create in the online database also. I'll give as a table name is a online data. So column name is serial number. So primary key, auto increment. So next is SW1 status. So next is indicator 1 status. So next is, so what is the next table? Sensor reading date time. So sensor reading, next is date, and next is time. So these are my table columns. So my table is created now. So I need to create a ODBC connection for this database, right? So first I will go to ODBC, I'll open this, I'll add new. So next I need to go MySQL ODBC 8.0 and C. So here I need to give the source name. Source name I will give it as online labview data. Okay. So my user is, so what is the user of this? So we have created in this AWS, right? So my user is admin, right? Username is admin and the password is labview dot. Okay. If I click on this test connection, okay, sorry, here we need to give the server. Server means the endpoint. So we'll go again RDS. We click on databases. This is my database. So here is the endpoint. Here is my server address. We'll copy this and I will go to ODBC. Here I will paste. So again I will test this connection. Okay, maybe the password is wrong. Just this. Okay, here you can see connection successful. So whatever the database I have created in this server, I will get here. So I have created online DB. We click on this. So this is my database, right? I have created in MySQL. Click on this, click on OK. Okay, we have created the source now. Source is online LabVIEW data. Click on OK. Close this again. Okay. So this is my new table. It is empty now. So I need to connect whatever the input I am getting here to this new database. So what we can do? So here I need to change the query. Insert into. Next is table name is, I have created new table. What is the table name? Online data. So insert into online data. Okay. Next here also I need to change the source also. So what is my source? So we'll go ODBC. So source is online LabVIEW data. Online LabVIEW data. So this query also, for reading query also I need to change. Select all from, table name is online data. Okay. Go to front panel. If I run this, so data is executing here. Okay. If I on this, so here you can see on, the indicator status is on, sensor value, date and time. Okay, we'll stop this. So here also if I execute this, here you can see whatever the data I am getting from the LabVIEW, it is storing in the online database. So suppose any third second person want to see the data, I just want to share this connection details. So I need to share the host name, username and password that I need to share to him. He can connect with his system and he can access to the data. So like this we can create a database in AWS and we can share the data to any other person around the world. Okay, he can access the data from anywhere in the world. Okay, so if I want to create one more database here, I can create one more. So like this we can create a database in Amazon AWS, and next. Okay, so like this we can read and write the data from the lab view into the database, SQL database. Okay, thank you.